Y'all ready for this? Because the Clipse just shook the entire rap game to its core. And they didn't just come back. They came for blood. In an industry where washed-up duos are laughed off and lyrical skill is treated like a hobby. Pusha T and No Malice dropped a project that was sulfur monoxide raw, SO unapologetic, and sulfur monoxide disrespectful. That fans are saying they just risked their entire legacy and still managed to outsell half the rap game without breaking a sweat. Yes, even your favorite chart topper got bodied this week, and the industry ain't ready to admit it. From drug talk metaphors that hit harder than a Metro beat drop, to verses that low-key call out the entire new wave of rappers. This comeback wasn't about trends, it was about reminding y'all who really built this rap pyramid from the ground up. But wait, there's more. Because rumor has it, the Clipse didn't just drop bars, they dropped bombshells aimed at their biggest rivals. And yes, that includes some very familiar names. Oh, we're going there. It's about to get messy. Let's rewind the tape, because before this historic drop flipped the culture upside down, y'all gotta understand exactly what makes this Clipse comeback so damn dangerous. We're not just talking about any duo. We're talking about the architects of cold-blooded luxury rap, the men who made cocaine bars poetic and turned the trap into a metaphorical cathedral. We're talking Terrence Pusha T. Thornton and Gene No Malice Thornton, two brothers from Virginia Beach who didn't just rap. They cut through the mic like box cutters through a brick, signed under Pharrell's Star Trek imprint in the early 2000s. The Clipse were never about playing the mainstream game. Their debut album, Lord Willin', was a cultural reset, and that follow-up, Hell Hath No Fury. Critics still call it one of the greatest hip-hop albums of all time. Period. But then the duo went quiet. For a long time, No Malice found religion. Pusha chased solo success and found it. We all watched as Pusha T turned himself into hip-hop's grimiest aristocrat, sparring with the likes of Lil Wayne, Birdman, and even delivering the now infamous Drake takedown with the story of Adidon. He became a menace with a crown, a lyricist who didn't chase radio play, but still had rap purists foaming at the mouth. And No Malice. He took the higher road. He stepped back from the spotlight, focused on faith, and said he was done with the dark side of the industry. Everyone thought the Clipse were officially over, but behind the scenes, talk started bubbling. Industry whispers, Kanye studio sessions, Pharrell looking more nostalgic, Pusha hinting at unfinished business, Oh Malice, dropping cryptic posts about brotherhood and redemption through destruction. Fast forward to No W, and what just dropped wasn't just a project, 'twas a declaration of war. The Clipse are back, not watered down, not softened, not chasing the current sound, but evolved. Sharper, more venomous than ever before. And they came ready to risk their image, their peace, and their place in the culture, just to remind y'all what real rap feels like. And what's even more insane? They did it while outselling rappers with TikTok cosigns, playlist placements, and 10 times their label budget. We're talking straight first-week chaos. 167,000 physical and digital units combined in the first 48 hours. #1 on iTunes Hip Hop. Within 12 hours of release, #3 overall on Apple Music globally. Vinyl sold out in 6 minutes. Even the cassette tapes are gone. Yes, cassette tapes. And let's not ignore the shade, because fans aren't just celebrating the numbers. They're naming names. One viral tweet read, "The Clipse outsold Jack Harlow, Nav, and whoever else y'all pretending is lyrical. Put respect on legacy or stay quiet." Another tweet with over 200K likes boldly said, "No TikTok dance, no billboard, no podcast rollout. Just straight pressure from 2 grown men. This is what hip-hop sounds like when you don't need to trend, you just dominate." But see, This comeback wasn't just about the numbers, it was about the message. Because buried in these tracks were shots fired. Subtle to some, obvious to those who've been paying attention. Lines like, "You signed your soul for a chain and a slot on." Spotify's playlist, "I fed my soul truth and came back to slay with the same wrist." They push agendas. "I push customs / your rollouts AI. Mine's from the stomach." You already KNOW who they talkin' about, but we'll get into the beefs in the next section. Right now, let it be known, the Clipse came back not to fit in, but to burn it all down. And somehow, they're doing it with No Malice still sticking to his faith-based values, while simultaneously helping craft some of the coldest bars the game has heard. All year, this ain't just nostalgic energy, it's a mission. It's revenge for being counted out. It's reclamation of a legacy, and every bar they spit sounds like Judgment Day. Alright y'all, now that we know why this Clipse return is bigger than just a comeback, let's talk about the drama that this project unleashed across the rap game like wildfire. Because baby, the streets are not just listening, they're decoding, they're pointing fingers, and they're screenshotting everything. And it all started with track 3, titled Velvet Ashes. The beat, menacing. The tone, cold-blooded. The lyrics, straight up surgical. Let's just say, few listeners aren't sleeping peacefully right now. Within the first 30 seconds of the track, Pusha T drops a line that stopped everyone in their tracks. "They auctioned our style, labeled us niche. Now we back, top of charts with no influencer reach." Oof, not even subtle. And people immediately started connecting the dots. Fans believe he was calling out Drake again without saying his name. Why? Because just 2 weeks ago, Drizzy went on IG Live laughing about old rappers, thinking they still run the game, and subtly shaded the ones Pharrell used to babysit. But Pusha wasn't done. Later in the same track, he says, "The boy wear chains from a dead man's closet. We wear scars like trophies, real losses." Weight chains from a dead man's closet. That's gotta be a reference to Drake flaunting Pharrell's old jewelry in the Jumbotron S*** T-Poppin' video. And guess who Pharrell's closest collaborators were? You guessed it, the Clipse. So, now, fans are piecing together the timeline, and it's looking like this comeback album was actually a slow-burning diss tape years in the making. One aimed not just at Drake, but at the entire industry machine that favors trending over talent, and then it happened. Betrayal. In the days following the release, a producer who had once worked with both Pusha and Pharrell went on Twitter and dropped a thread of deleted bars that were allegedly cut from the final mix. One of the lines, "Heard your idol switched. Sides bought the chains and the lies, but forgot who made the style and who let you ride." And here's where it gets real ugly. Because that's not just a jab at Drake, that's a dagger toward Pharrell himself. Yup. There are growing whispers that tension between Pusha T and Pharrell might be building all over Pharrell's relationship with Drake. You see, Pharrell has been making more public appearances in Drake's world lately. Designer collabs, red carpet run-ins, even co-signs at Paris Fashion Week. And now fans are wondering, did Pusha feel betrayed? Did the student become the outsider while the teacher sat with the ops? 'Cause let's not forget, Pharrell helped raise the Clipse. He gave them their first deal. He crafted their sound. But now, he's rubbing elbows with the same people who mocked Pusha's lyricism and minimized his impact, and it gets even messier. Another track, Polished Grime, features No Malice delivering this icy bar. "Y'all break bread with Judas and call it brotherhood. I broke bread with Christ, now I'm misunderstood." Poetic, powerful, and perspective-shifting. No Malice clearly isn't just talking about fame or redemption. He's throwing shade at those who flip loyalties when the spotlight shines brighter somewhere else. Some fans think this is him throwing indirect heat at Pusha and Pharrell's strained brotherhood, possibly implying that No Malice wanted nothing to do with industry politics but was dragged into this war regardless. Let that sink in. This project could have been the Clipse reunion we dreamed of, but instead, it's sounding more like a confession booth, a courtroom, and a battleground all in one. And right when fans thought they had figured out the targets, another twist dropped the feature that broke the internet. Track 7. Cold Fusion opens with a deep voice, barely recognizable through a haze of vocal distortion. But 10 seconds in, the voice clears, and it's him. It's J. Cole. Yes, you read that right. J. Cole, who's been in the middle of his own controversy for apologizing to Kendrick, shows up on a Clipse track and raps, "I bowed out when the kings went to war. Now I'm back with the architects, rebuilding the floor." And boom. That was it. The spark that lit a million think pieces. Because this verse makes it sound like Cole is taking sides, walking back that whole peaceful unity stance and siding with the original craftsmen of lyrical warfare, choosing Clipse and perhaps even Pusha over Kendrick and Drake, and the internet lost it. Some fans felt betrayed, others screamed redemption arc. But either way, Cole's name instantly started trending alongside Clipse. And in less than 12 hours, Cold Fusion became the most streamed track on the entire project. But that's not all. Right after the album dropped, guess who started liking shady tweets about Clipse saving hip-hop? None other than Rick Ross. And Ross didn't stop there. He went on IG Live sipping Belaire and said this: "They ain't want the real ones to come back. But now, y'all gotta listen. And guess what? I'm working with the brothers next." So now we've got Rick Ross teasing a collab, J. Cole dropping loyalty bars, Pharrell getting side-eyed, and Drake being lyrically cooked all over again without being directly named. And the wildest part, Drake hasn't said a single word. No subliminals, no response, just silence. And y'all KNOW what that means. Either he's planning something massive, or he finally learned. You don't play chess with the ones who built the board. Phew. If you thought the Clipse comeback was just about a few throwback bars and slick shade, think again. Because once the fans got involved and the rap world started reacting, this situation spiraled into a full-blown chart-climbing, go-shattering cultural war and the match that set the internet ablaze. A simple, cryptic tweet from the Yeezy camp. Just hours after the Clipse project dropped, Kanye West's longtime engineer, Mike Dean, tweeted, "What they built together, they're now tearing apart. Watch closely, the betrayal was mutual." Yup, that's it. Just that. No names, no tags. But the internet knew exactly who he was talking about. Clipse Pharrell, maybe even Kanye himself. Fans immediately dissected the line. Some thought it referred to Pharrell distancing himself from Pusha T. By aligning with Drake, others believed it pointed toward the Clipse album being used as a weapon, a tool to reignite beef that Pharrell wanted no part of, but the most explosive. Theory: Kanye was originally supposed to executive produce the album, and it got blocked. Insider leaks started circulating on Reddit and Twitter threads, claiming that Kanye had mixed half the original tracks with Pusha and No Malice in a secret Wyoming session 2 years ago. Allegedly, the wanted to make it a surprise, Watch the Throne 2 style. Roll out only for Pharrell and the label to block it due to Kanye's controversies at the time. One leaked post read, "There was a full Kanye Clipse tape in 2022. That's why this current project sounds so conflicted." The soul of it got gutted by industry politics. And just when that theory started gaining steam, Pusha T posted a black and white throwback photo of him and Kanye with the caption, "Built something timeless," until they tried to erase it. Never forget. Fans went feral. Hashtags like hashtag YEEZYCLIPSE and hashtag Free the Real album started trending. People begged for the original Kanye version to leak. And in the middle of the chaos, guess who decided to pour gasoline on the flames? Tyler, the creator. That's right, Mr. Grammy-winning Flower Boy himself. Jumped on IG Live and said, "They scared of those two 'cause they don't dress like the Matrix and rap like anime. They rap like grown men. It's scary to the suits." Tyler's words struck hard, especially since he once credited Pharrell as his biggest influence. But now, he was clearly aligning himself with the raw, no-frills, coke-laced lyricism of Clipse and indirectly shading the more stylized, glossy industry vibes Pharrell's recently attached himself to. Oh, and then this happened. Meek Mill tweeted and deleted. Funny how some people loyal to the ops now. Guess them billion-dollar brands make you forget your brothers. YUP. Another shot. Another twist. Now fans were wondering if everyone in the old-school circle, Kanye, Ross, Meek, Tyler, was quietly rallying behind Clipse while Pharrell and Scray played the label game on the other side. It felt like a low-key civil war was forming inside hip-hop. And if you think the drama stopped there, buckle up. Because then came the fake leak that flipped everything on its head. Late one night, a suspicious audio file began circulating, titled Pusha X Kanye X No Malice Deleted track. It sounded unfinished, maybe a rough demo. But in the second verse, a heavily distorted voice believed to be Kanye says, "They used your brother, dressed him up in luxury chains, then told him Yee's too toxic, but wore his name like a stain." Y'all, if this leak is even halfway real, it means Kanye is calling out Pharrell directly, accusing him of manipulating the comeback and rewriting history, all while pretending to be neutral. People went wild, YouTubers did bar-by-bar breakdowns, TikTokers made conspiracy charts. Even the blogs couldn't stay quiet. The Shade Room posted a carousel breaking down every potential diss in the Clipse album, complete with a headline that read, "Was Pharrell the real villain in the Pusha Drake beef all along?" And here's the gag. Pharrell's team issued a rare one-sentence response to the frenzy. "We will always support artistry over internet games." No further comment. That cold corporate statement. It just made things worse. People read it as dismissive, like Pharrell didn't want to address the real accusations, that he'd possibly chosen brand deals and fashion over loyalty to the very artists who built his name in hip-hop. And this brings us to the shocking reveal. Because the final twist in this chapter didn't come from a tweet, a leak, or a diss bar. It came from an email. Allegedly, a former intern at Columbia Records leaked an internal memo that said the Clipse rollout was originally titled Legacy War, The Reckoning Tapes Prod, Kanye West, that name. Never saw the light of day. Instead, the album dropped with a cleaned-up title, some Kanye tracks removed, and zero official involvement from the dot. So what happened? Was the album sabotaged internally to avoid more Kanye controversy? Did Pharrell step in to keep the peace and soften the project? Or did the Clipse themselves compromise just enough to get back on top and come for blood in part 2? Because sources close to the situation say, and we're quoting here, there's a volume 2 coming, and that one won't be censored. Oh y'all, it's not over, not even close by this point. The entire internet was hanging on every syllable. And once the fanbase, media, and fellow rappers got involved, this Clipse saga transformed from a lyrical war into a full-on culture quake. Let's start with the fans. Because baby, the debates were getting nasty out here. Within hours of the deleted Kanye version rumors hitting Reddit, Twitter was completely unhinged. The hashtag RealClipse tape trended #1 in the US. Fans demanded. Woo, meanwhile, Drake, still quiet. No bars, no IG captions. Just one passive-aggressive like on a fan post that said, "All this for 80K first week." Yup, that's right. Despite all the noise, Clipse reportedly moved under 100K units in there. Debut week, a far cry from the hype. But exactly what made supporters even louder. Because fans said this proves their point. Real hip-hop doesn't get pushed by the machine, it gets buried by it. Even artists were taking sides. Here's a rundown. Killer Mike tweeted, "If y'all can't hear the pain and betrayal in this Clipse project, y'all not really listening. Some of us get silenced when we try to tell the truth." Lupe Fiasco dropped a freestyle on IG stories. Using the Velvet Ashes beat, rapping. Suits tailored the sound, but couldn't sew up the wound. Azealia Banks, never one to sit quietly, posted a rant on IG saying, "Y'all let Drake steal Pharrell's whole aesthetic. And now Clipse, fighting to get it back. Y'all industry, fake as hell." Even Ebro from Hot 97 chimed in, tweeting, "What if this is all performance art? What if Clipse wants us to fight over the legacy? That's the genius." But not everyone was supportive. A few younger rappers threw shade, calling the drama washed old head energy and saying, "Clipse was trying to be relevant off beef. Nobody under 25 listening to bars about Pyrex and betrayal. Drop a TikTok song or go home," tweeted a viral SoundCloud rapper named Lil Drizz. That tweet alone sparked another war between real hip-hop fans and the new generation, and once again, Clipse was at the center. Meanwhile, journalists and bloggers were having a field day. Rolling Stone published a think piece titled, "The Clipse comeback is more than music. It's a mirror into hip-hop's fractured soul." And Complex dropped an article alleging that Pharrell's team has been closely monitoring all media coverage, even sending legal guidance to platforms discussing false narratives about his involvement. But here's the kicker. Fan who attended a private Clipse listening party in NYC claimed this in a Credit AMA. There was one song they didn't include on the streaming version. Everyone in the room was silent when it played. The last line was literally, "I built this house with my brother, then watched our mentor sell it." No one knows what happened to that track. No one knows if it'll ever drop. But if this much smoke exists, there's gotta be fire coming. Just when it felt like the dust might finally settle. When fans thought the Clipse drama had reached its breaking point, a new piece of the puzzle dropped. And y'all, this one could destroy everything we thought we knew. Because deep in the corners of a French hip-hop forum, yes, French, a grainy screenshot surfaced. It was of an email thread between a top marketing exec at Columbia and a third-party branding agency. And in that thread, the following line was bold and underlined. Reminder, Malice must stay silent on the original Pharrell memoir track, or the partnership with LV will be jeopardized. What? Hold up. Let's break this down. 1. There's a Pharrell memoir track that was either scrapped or sealed. 2. No Malice was involved in it. 3. Pharrell's billion-dollar partnership with Louis Vuitton is allegedly at risk if the truth comes out. So now we're not just talking about rap beef, label drama, or even artistic betrayal. We're talking about corporate pressure, hidden tapes, and entire careers being strategically controlled behind the scenes. Even more chilling, right after that leak hit Reddit, No Malice wiped his Instagram. Everything gone, not archived, deleted. Clean slate. And when fans rushed to Pusha T's page for clues, they found a new IG story, just one line. "The silence don't mean peace, just patience." Oh my God. Now the theories are flying. Some say Malice was preparing a solo project, exposing Pharrell's shift from brotherhood to brand loyalty, and that Columbia buried it. Others believe Kanye has a copy of the original memoir track and is holding it as leverage for future negotiations. And a growing group claims the Drink Champs episode wasn't canceled. It was confiscated. Meanwhile, the Clipse fanbase is going absolutely feral. They're combing through old lyrics from Hell Hath No Fury, rewatching 2000s interviews, and drawing wild connections between the brothers, Pharrell, Kanye, and even Drake. But here's the twist no one saw coming. This week, during a high-fashion event in Milan, Pharrell was asked about the Clipse album during a red carpet interview, and his response: "Music is emotion, but some people confuse therapy with revenge." And then he smiled and walked away. That was shade. That was subtle. Pharrell style. Billionaire-level shade and trust. Fans caught it. Now everyone's asking, was Pharrell low-key calling Pusha and Malice bitter? Is he the puppet master behind it all, staying clean while Clipse burns bridges? Or is he the one who's scared? Scared that the real memoir track exposes a loyalty he no